So you're going to have your quiz tomorrow, right? And so I want to go over this review. First off, read the directions very carefully. These are the same directions for the quiz tomorrow. It's very important that you show every step of algebra. So I'm not going to really be going over right now. Here's how you solve it. We've been doing it a long time. Many of you got it down really well. But just how it's scored, so you're not surprised if you get something less than you're expecting because you didn't know you had to do certain things. So on the side of each question, there's a point total. That's how many it's worth. Now the right answer is worth 1 point on every question. Everything else is the steps. So if it's worth 2 points, that means there's 1 point for the right answer, and there's 1 point because there's one step. So on here, we would divide both sides by -2, both sides, and we get an answer of x equals -8. So you get 1 point for dividing both sides by -2 and writing it just like that, using division bar, not a division sign. And then, of course, 1 point for the right answer. So if you do the algebra right, meaning you know what you're supposed to divide by, but then you do the arithmetic wrong and you get the wrong number, you still get credit. And as that goes, you can get almost full credit. Even with having the wrong answer at the end, you can almost get full credit if your algebra is correct, meaning you add the right thing, you divide the right thing. So on number 3, you can see that it's worth 3 points. That means there's 1 point for the answer, and then there's 2 steps that have to be shown. And it's a 2-step equation. So we have to subtract 2 on both sides first. And we'll get 2 times what equals 4. And then you have to divide both sides by 2. Right, those cancel out to 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 3 points, 1 for subtracting 2 on both sides, 1 for dividing by 2 on both sides, and 1 for the right answer. Does that make sense on what you have to show and what you have to do? So I'm just go down a few more. So 4 points means this is worth 4 points, so it's 1 point for the answer, 3 steps to show. First step, combine like terms on the same side. 5n plus 4n is 9n. Bring down everything else, equals -4 plus 8 times n. Then we can subtract 8n on both sides. So 9 minus 8 is just 1n. That cancels out. Well, this actually comes out to 3 steps because we don't have to divide by a number here. Usually this is like a 2n or 5n we would divide. But this one came out to 1, so I guess that's only 3 steps. 1 for here, 1 for subtracting 8n on both sides, and then 1 for the right answer at the end. And it does have to be done on both sides. If you just say 9 minus 8 is 1 and n equals 4 and you fail to put it on both sides, that does not count as a step of algebra. Algebra means you have to do it to both sides to keep it balanced. So let me do 7 and then 9, and then I'll let you guys work the rest of the period. So here on 7, these are each worth a point by themselves, distributive property. So -3 times -4 is positive 12. -3 times positive 3 is -9. And then bring down the other part. So we got one point for the first multiplication, 1 point for the second. And then we're going to add 9 to both sides. So 12 times what equals -45 plus 9, -36. And divide both sides by 12. So n equals -3. So we have 2 steps for the distributive property, 1 step for adding 9 to both sides, 1 step for dividing by 12 on both sides, and then having the right answer. So 5 points total. The last one is that most common mistake that I've told you about. So be very careful when you answer this question. What number is in front of the parentheses? Negative 5. So when you do distributive property, make sure you do negative 5 times n and negative 5 times negative 3. That's the most common mistake, is people do 5n minus 15, and that'd be wrong, because it's going to be negative 5n plus 15. Negative times a negative is a positive. So if we're not very careful about that on every single problem, we could potentially know how to do every single step, but miss the whole thing because we just get the signs wrong because we fail to see that negative in front. So this is just a one-step problem. You don't have to do anything after that. I just want to see the fact that you can tell that this is a negative number in front, and you have to distribute the negative with everything else. So that's why this is only 1 point. Okay? So hopefully that clears up anything about what's expected, what do you have to show. Hopefully reiterates the fact that you're in an algebra class. That's why you are getting graded on showing algebra steps. So showing whatever you do to both sides is an algebra property. That's why you're being graded on it. That's why you have to show it, because that's what algebra is. Back in elementary school, junior high, it was just, what's the answer? What's the answer? You weren't in algebra yet, so all you cared about was the answer. So we're in a higher class now. That's why there's more stuff you actually have to prove. Okay, so hopefully that helps.